The downfall of Johnny Somali is finally here. He has been a nuisance online in multiple countries for a few years now, but he is finally facing the repercussions to his actions, and it could not be sweeter. But Johnny Somali is not going down without a fight, and he is going down swinging. And he's also been charged with another deep fake incident, which means that he has just pretty much doubled his sentence in a Korean prison. And we're going to be breaking everything down today and going in depth on everything that we know so far. The first thing we're going to talk about, though, is you may remember is when Johnny Somali started out in South Korea, he did some really disrespectful things, and he upset a hell of a lot of the locals. Now, there is a YouTuber who lives in South Korea and is South Korean and actually assaulted him on Johnny Somali's livestream. Now, you may remember this, but Johnny Somali has been reported that he will be suing the YouTuber who actually assaulted him. Now, this is a little bit weird because obviously back in 2024, Dalguan, I think I butchered that, but Dalguan, who is a former Korean Navy SEAL and content creator, actually confronted Somali over his disrespectful behavior. Like kissing and twerking on the Statue of Peace, which is obviously a monument honoring victims of Japanese wartime sexual slavery. So, he's a bit scummy for what he did. But Dalguan was fined up to $7,000 for the assault initially, and he defended that his actions, stating, "I just did what I had to do as a Korean citizen," reflecting public sentiment against Somali. And there was even a crowdfunding effort, which, included a $4,000 contribution from an American YouTuber donor operator, including international support from Dalguan's response, right? So this guy was incredibly well supported when it came to his assault on Johnny Somali. But Somali has come out recently and stated that he has got full intent to sue. So on early May of 2025, posts on X indicate that Somali is attempting to actually sue the content creator for the assault, with some framing it as extortion attempts through civil lawsuits. Specifically, by a post by Deserto on May 4th of 2025, notes that Dalguan's claim that Somali is trying to extort him with legal action, leveraging the assault incident to seek financial compensation or pressure. Now, Somali's history of legal threats, such as his October 29th, 2024 livestream, where he warned that he would legally prosecute and sue those tracking him, supports a narrative of him abusing lawsuits as a potential tactic to avoid, to try and basically deflect any form of blame. And it's just one of many lawsuits that, he's threatened over the past few years. And it's just spiraling, and it's got even worse now for Johnny Somali, as before he was sentenced up to about 15 years, I think it was, in a Korean prison. He tried to get himself sent along back to America, to get extradited back to America so that he could face his sentence over there. South Korea were having absolutely none of it. They were stating, no, you broke the law here, you will face the penalties here. Johnny Somali then went on an absolute rampage, stating that he will spread STIs to Korean women. He'll spread one STI every week for every week that they don't send him back to America. It was a very weird plea, but now he's facing up to 31 years in South Korean prison after being hit with another charge, and it was a second count of distributing false videos in form of deepfakes. So he was already charged with this prior to this for deep faking a Korean streamer for sexual nudity and stuff like this without her prior consent or knowledge, which obviously landed him. It's a really strict law over there regarding this kind of thing, right? But now, Somali faces 6 charges in South Korea, with the combined maximum penalties totaling 31 years if he receives the fullest extent of the sentencing. I can imagine that South Korea will absolutely want to give him the fullest sentence of the law, because they're going to try and deter anyone and everyone from coming over and doing this. We're seeing the same with Vitali over in the Philippines. So the charges that he is being lodged against with is obstruction of business on 2 counts, deepfake sex crimes on 2 counts, and minor crimes acts of violations on 2 counts as well. So additional allegations are currently under investigation. So beyond the 6 formal charges that he's currently got, Somali faces ongoing investigations that could lead to further charges. And this includes, and you know, this is really damning, child sex harassment, where a probe reported on the April 27th of 2025 investigates alleged explicit text-to-speech messages targeting minors, potentially carrying a 10-year sentence if charges are filed. North Korean propaganda. So Somali is allegedly played North Korean music and the national anthem in public, violating South Korea's National Security Act, and this could lead to a further 7-year sentence. Narcotics possession, so authorities are investigating possible drug use, which could carry a 10-year sentence again. Anti-terrorism law violations, where allegations include claiming to have a bomb on a train, which could lead to additional penalties like asset seizures, and then stalking and assault. So Somali is accused of stalking and sexually harassing a Japanese female streamer on March 21st of 2025, though there are no formal charges that have been reported on this as of right now. But what gets even worse for Somali in this situation is his demeanor when it comes to his court proceedings. So when he first was sentenced to court, or summoned to court on March 7th of 2025, he arrived an hour late to court. He was hungover when he arrived. He turned up wearing a MAGA hat, which they repeatedly asked him to remove, but he did not remove, and attempted to live stream the proceedings, risking contempt of court. So not only is he being faced with all of these serious allegations and all of these very, very serious crimes, he is now basically being like, well, fuck you, I'm just going to take this the way that I want to take this. And in doing so, he's basically put the middle finger up to South Korea, even though he's, I don't know what it is that he's trying to do. So he has pled guilty to 3 of the charges that he has been faced against. 1 obstruction and 2 minor charges were noted, but the discovery of the additional obstruction charge postponed the hearing to April 9th, and the trial is ongoing with another set for May of 2025. So Somali has expressed remorse at times, apologising for his actions like kissing the Statue of Peace, which obviously is a monument to World War II comfort women, and it has made defiant statements claiming no remorse and offending to the bastion of evil amid the trial. So this guy literally has no remorse for his actions. It's blatant in his actions when turning up to court. He literally doesn't give a damn about anything that has been filed against him. And the charges are getting worse and worse by the day, with stalking and assault, anti-terrorism laws, narcotics possession, North Korea propaganda, and child sexual harassment. If all of these things are thrown into the mix as well, he's facing potentially upwards of 50 years in prison, which would probably be, the equivalent of a life sentence. He is absolutely cooked, and he doesn't seem to care. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.